Hello, everybody out there in Rumble, X, and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego, and today we're going to talk some more about Eat, Pray, Love. Eat, Pray, Love, that chick flick that you like, that I think is an abortion. Can I say that on YouTube? I don't care. This movie is, I think, one of the reasons why women are so screwed up today. And I'm not saying all women, I'm just saying a lot of them, a lot more than is safe to think about. Okay? Because this movie just glamorizes selfishness. It glamorizes just doing whatever you want to do, regardless of the consequences. You see what I mean? Finding yourself, so to speak. Okay? Self-discovery and all that stuff. The problem with that is that this woman is doing it when she's like at middle age. Okay, I don't know how old the woman is in this movie. How Liz Gilbert's character, I don't know how old she is in the movie, but Julia Roberts was 43 when she filmed this. So I'm guessing that the character Liz Gilbert is also 43 or maybe 41 or something like that. Okay, so that's a little late in life to realize that I've wasted my life and I want to do something else. Most women that age already have kids going to college and stuff. Okay. Well, of course, a woman having children, being married and all that, being happily married in a house, with a fence and all that, raising children, eventually becoming grandchildren. All that stuff goes against the libtard feminist agenda. Okay. And this movie was based on a book by Liz Gilbert, okay, based on her own experiences when she divorced her husband, the guy that she fell in love with at the end of Coyote Ugly, because yes, she wrote that too. That was also based on her experience working at a bar in New York. Okay, although she wasn't a singer, she was a writer. Okay, but yeah, that was also based on her. So you could say Coyote Ugly is part one and Eat, Pray, Love is part two. Okay, so she divorced her husband because she just all of a sudden realized that he was, a dumbass. And she decides she wants to go live with her boyfriend. And now she realizes she really has no feelings for this guy. She was just using him so that she could detach from her husband. How do you detach from your husband? Simply, you start screwing somebody else. Okay, start developing feelings for another person. Start using those feelings that you automatically generated for this new guy. Start using that as an excuse to separate from your husband. Then once the divorce went through, okay, now she can ditch the guy, the new boyfriend. She can ditch him now, because now she doesn't need him anymore. She's officially separated from her husband. Okay, so she's single now, and the last thing she wants is to be tied down. Okay, that kind of a thing, And this movie glamorizes that. All right, just going through people. Now, in real life, Liz Gilbert, the author of this book, she did do this. She did do this in real life. She divorced that guy. And then she got with this young guy, right? I think in real life, her lover was like 24, and she was 33 or something. I think, I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, that happened. She dumped him to go on her tour. In real life, she got an advance from her publisher to write the book Eat, Pray, Love. It's a longer title, but I'm not going to say it right now. Okay, and she used her advance to finance the trip to Rome, and then the trip to India, and then the trip to Bali. Okay, which is the basis of this book. Okay, so that's what she did with the money that she got. So she was already planning on writing a book about this, but she didn't know for sure what was going to happen. And of course, what happened to her is what you see. She went to Rome, ate a lot of food, blah, 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 all that kind of crap, Then she went to India, did a lot of praying in the Mandir temple, the Hindu temple. Okay, and then she went to Bali to visit the shaman that predicted her fortune in the beginning of the movie. All that crap happened, and she falls in love with some Latino guy over there. We'll get to that. We haven't got to that. And yes, she did marry that guy in real life. Okay, who looks nothing like Javier Bardem. Nothing like Javier Bardem. Okay. So all that happened in real life. Okay, and then what you don't know, because this happened after the movie came out, is eventually she did divorce that guy. She divorced the Latino guy for a woman. Yes, she became lesbian. How very libtard, New York white, upper class libtard of her. She realized that she liked women, so she fell in love with a woman. Unfortunately, they had a ceremony, although obviously it wasn't legally acknowledged, but they did have a ceremony. Unfortunately, that woman died a year later from cancer. Okay, and then after that, Liz Gilbert became straight again, started dating another guy. I'm not making this up. This is all on her Wikipedia. You can look this up yourself, okay? She started dating a man. They need to make a sequel to this, you know? I want to see that movie. But that obviously that didn't last either, because whatever guy she got with realized that she was damaged goods. Too old to have children with. She never had children. Liz Gilbert never had children, okay? Because that goes against her boss bitchiness. You see what I mean? That's not what makes her life complete. What makes her life complete is traveling the world, stuffing her face, and screwing a lot of guys, men and women. That's what makes her complete. Now, all that's gone. Now she's just an old, unattractive lady living in a big house with cats. Just like another woman that did the same thing for the most part, although not as much traveling. Candace Bushel, the creator of Sex and the City, also had a similar experience. Candace Bushel, because I reviewed every single episode of Sex and the City, so I know what I'm talking about. Okay, that's what I do here is I review chick flicks. All right, I give you a straight man's point of view. That's the point of view you never got. Okay, but you're getting it today, straight up, baby, with no lube. Ain't no lube here. Don't ask me for any. I ain't got any. I'm gonna give it to you raw, baby, the way you like it. Anyway, so Candace Bushel herself also did get, creator of Sex and the City, all that. Yeah. And then she did marry a guy. I guess he was like a ballet instructor or something. And then he left her for one of his ballet students. she had to pay him out. Okay, and now she lives alone in the Hamptons, in a big house in the Hamptons with her cats. Yep, and that's where Liz Gilbert is as well. See, that's the part they don't tell you in these movies, how these women end up. See, once you turn on that switch about everything in life is going to be about what I want. What I want is more important than anything else. It's selfishness. It's selfish. And here's the cruel lesson of this, okay? And time is a cruel mistress. It is. But the really cruel lesson of this, of living in selfishness, because that's exactly what this movie is. That's what the book is. That's what Liz Gilbert is. She glamorizes selfishness, okay? Is if you spend your whole life only thinking about yourself, you're going to end up being the only person that does. Okay? You're going to end up alone. Okay? And I've known people in my life like that. It's one of my biggest fears. It's one of the reasons I try to cultivate relationships with people. It's one of the reasons that, I check in on people. Okay? I call people. Hey, how are you doing, dude? I just want you to know, I care about you. That kind of thing. I do that. Okay? Because I legitimately care. But I also know that they would do that for me. You see what I mean? Our friendships, our families, okay, they're very important to us because they're what make life worth living. I mean, what are we here for? Okay, what makes life worth living? Our job? Our friends, our children? You see what I mean? We give meaning to life. And if that meaning to life is just, whatever I want it to be, then you're not living a full life. It's a life half lived. It's not a fulfilling life. You see what I mean? One of the biggest, joys of my life is taking care of my little boy, my son. I raised my son by myself. I'm a single dad. But the bond I have with my child is I would never give that up for anything in the world. It's much better than the bond I had with my own father, that's for sure. So I couldn't imagine a life now. I couldn't imagine life just where it's just about me. Because I lived that life. Before my son was born, my life was just about me and what I wanted. Okay? And let me tell you something. It was unfulfilling. It was unfulfilling. As human beings, most of us have a need to be a part of something bigger than just ourselves. We want to be part of a relationship. We want to be part of a family, part of a social network, part of a group. You see what I mean? And when you live completely in selfishness, like Liz Gilbert does, that's never going to happen. Because as long as you always put yourself first, okay, you're never going to have priorities anybody else. You see what I mean? That's a sad way to live. It really is. Because you're going to find out the longer you do that other people are going to treat you the same way. And that's not much of a life. Okay, and I think that's the dark side of feminism. Okay, that's the part that these libtard publishers, writers, they don't want you to know this. Okay, the movie producers, they don't want you to know this. Okay, they want you to indulge in your whims. They want you to keep believing the lie that you're born perfect, that whatever you want is what you deserve. That if something makes you feel good, then you deserve that. Regardless of any commitments, regardless of any responsibility, regardless of any accountability. Whatever you want, you deserve it, so go get it. Okay? Now that might work a bit. It's easy to believe that when you're young. That's why they target young girls. That's why Taylor Swift, people like that, these icons that you worship, that's why they target young women. They want you to start thinking like them. Start believing this crap. The Beyoncés of the world, the Billie Eilishes of the world, they want you to believe this crap. The Sabrina Carpenters of the world, they want the young girls to believe this crap, to bring that into adulthood. Okay, believing that they're born perfect. You see what I mean? And that, a life is all about self-pleasurement and doing what you want, traveling, getting rich. It's not about, taking care of anybody. You see what I mean? And that kind of message, it ends up bad for society. It really does. It does, because if nobody gives a crap about anybody, then what's the point of living? What's the point of society? What's the point of culture? What's the point of anything if nobody cares about each other? You see what I mean? And a lot of times, feminists, and the media and all that, social media, they keep, someone like Sabrina Carpenter, the singer, she keeps pushing this message that men are all bad, that men destroy civilization, that women have responsibility to rebuild civilization, that men have destroyed, men have ruined everything, the patriarchy is evil, all that kind of stuff, But as long as you keep preaching that hate, how the hell is anyone going to get together? How are people going to get back together? How is that possible? It's not. Because let me tell you something about men, ladies, that you probably don't know, because you've spent all your time on social media and watching movies and watching TV shows and stuff. Let me tell you something about men that you haven't seen in the past 20 years on TV or anything, okay? We are very resilient, okay? We are built for battle. Okay, there's a reason we're stronger than you. There's a reason we have testosterone and you don't, okay? We are built to fight. And it's not just physically, like internally we are as well. Okay? And once you unlock that switch, we're not just going to roll over and let you walk all over us. The men today are waking up. That's why they're not getting married. Okay? That's why they're not having children. Okay? It's because they see the women that are out there and they don't want them. They don't want them. See, the men today are starting to feel entitled too. They're starting to feel like, you know what? I don't want to be with a woman that's, been divorced 3 times and slept with 500. You know what? I don't think I want to be with a woman like that. I think I deserve better. So sorry, babe. I ain't going to see you anymore. And the woman like, my past doesn't matter. The guy is judgmental prick. Well, no, he just, wants a better class of woman. He feels he deserves it. He deserves better. See what I mean? Yeah, it sucks when it's done to you, isn't it? Right? But when women do it, it's glorified. But when men do the exact same thing, it's judgmental. He's insecure. He can't handle a strong, independent. Fuck you. Okay? He doesn't want you. He doesn't want that. Okay? And that's what's happening, despite what you see in the movies, ladies, despite what you're reading, your stupid books or your stupid ass streaming TV shows. All that stuff is written by women, all feminism, because they wouldn't allow it to get made unless it had feminism in it. All that crap is not the real world. Okay? The real world, okay, men, we stand up for ourselves. Most of us do. Okay? Most of us do. And unfortunately, that's why you have to divide. Men are falling for the trap. They've realized that marriage is just going to screw them over in the long run. Okay? So they're just not doing it. Okay? And since women feel so entitled for the best men, it's like you've got like 80% of all the women out there are having sex with like 10% of all the men. You see what I mean? So why would that 10% is having why the hell would they want to settle down when they're a kid in a candy store? And better yet, they don't have to pay for it. You see what I mean? Everything's free. Why would that guy want to put a ring on anyone? You see what I mean? That's the problem. The problem is the woman who is like, 22, drop dead gorgeous, large, real boobs, beautiful face. I mean, she could be a porn star if she wanted to, but she's not. Okay? A gorgeous woman like that. And a 300-pound woman, eats Cheetos all day, okay, and tiramisu. Okay? Both of those women think they're entitled to that 10% guy. That's the disconnect. And this movie, this Eat, Pray, Love crap is telling women out there that you are, no matter who you are also entitled to that top 10%. You see what I mean? That's the problem. That's the problem with these movies. And this movie is like Ground Zero. This movie's 2010. This was predicting the next 20 years. You see what I mean? But men are making a comeback, and I'm happy for that. I legitimately am. You know, because I see some of these young kids today, these boys out there, man. I'm like, oh my God, who told you this? Who taught you this? Who taught you that it's okay for women to walk all over you? Who taught you that there's only one woman in the whole world for you? Like, who brainwashed you into thinking this stuff? Who brainwashed you into thinking that women are way up there and men are way down there? Who told you this? You see, it's movies like this. And the moms that watched them and told their sons that they need to do better. They didn't tell their daughters they need to do better. They told their sons you need to do better. You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about, okay? And it's because of crap like this. And the only reason this stuff even exists, the only reason it perpetuated so long is because men like me, men that don't watch this crap, we just ignored it because it didn't involve me. It didn't involve us. I actually saw this movie, I think in 2011. I rented it or something. And I saw it, and that was it. And never saw it again until now. Had no interest in seeing it again because to me, it didn't matter. It was just a dumbass chick flick. Okay, I've seen it before. They're all pretty much the same. But I didn't realize that this is, you know, it's stuff like this, stuff that men don't pay attention to. That's the shit that is brainwashing women. So men, you guys need to start paying attention to this crap. I know you don't listen to Taylor Swift. I know you don't, okay? But let me tell you something, dude. Okay, your girlfriend does. So maybe, would it hurt you so much to like read some of the lyrics that she's singing about? I know you don't listen to Sabrina Carpenter. I know that. But your daughter does. Okay, don't you, maybe want to see what some of these messages that Sabrina Carpenter is telling your daughter to do and how to think? Don't you think that might be a little important? Because when she starts singing about how all men are shit, do you realize that you, the father, you're also included in that category? Do you really want your daughter listening to that? That all men are shit? And all men don't deserve anything? You see what I mean? Is that really the message you want? Because guys, you got to start paying attention to that. I know I'm guilty of this too. I didn't pay attention to this stuff. It wasn't until woke took over that I started trying to deconstruct it and figure out where did all this start? Where did all this come from? Okay, now I figured it out. Oh my God, this is where it came from, fucking shit like this. So my little corner here of YouTube, I'm trying to point out all this crap from the chick flick side. Because there's no guys out there that are doing it. And I know my views are low. I don't care. I do this for fun. I do this in my spare time. But I'm trying to put a message out there. I'm trying to get people to think. I hope guys watch my channel. I hope guys look at me, okay, and look at this, okay, so that they don't have to watch the movie. Okay, I'm basically gonna break down every fucking scene for you. Okay? So you can realize this is how they manipulate people. This is how they manipulate women. Okay, and if men are not paying attention to this stuff, okay, dude, you need to start. Because this is where it's coming from. This is the crap that's influencing women. This is the reason women are getting divorced. This is the reason, women cheat on their boyfriends and shit, because they're told it's okay to do it. It's only not okay when men do it. You see what I mean? This shit's got to fucking stop. And it is stop. Thank God it's stopping. Men are waking up. Men are waking up, and I like to know, it makes me feel good knowing that I contributed a little bit to that. To the real woke, waking up from this crap, this DEI crap, this feminism crap. Okay, maybe feminism was about equality back when it first came out, okay, but it hasn't been about equality, and it hasn't been that in a very long time. Very long time, okay? It's nothing more than misandry. And if you don't know what that word is, look it up, okay? And whether you like it or not, okay, this movie is misandric. Okay, now where did we leave off last time? So last time, what do you call it? Okay, Liz is in Rome, and she's hanging out with her new BFF, Sophie, a white girl from Sweden or the Netherlands. Where the fuck is she from? I think she's Swedish. Yeah, Swedish. Okay, but she speaks perfect English with an American accent, and she's a flight attendant, supposedly. And so they're BFFs now. And Liz is in Rome, stuff in her face. They go to where do they go? They go to Nice or something. I think that's where they go to go get some pizza. Okay, they go to I think it was Nice, but it was another city because they're in Rome. But they decide to go. They decide to go some other city here. You know, Naples. And so they go to Naples. Okay, and while they're there, there's this cute little girl that gives Liz the finger. I thought it was awesome. Okay, and they go there and they're gonna go pig out on pizza. Okay, but of course Sophie's like, I can't. She orders the pizza, but then she won't eat it. Meanwhile, Liz is stuffing her face. Like, why won't you eat the pizza? She's like, oh, because ever since I met you and started hanging out with you and going to all these restaurants with you, all these outdoor patio restaurants here, I've gained 10 pounds. And of course, you get the bullshit body positivity speech. You know, while Liz is stuffing her face, she's telling Sophie, no, you're beautiful. Women are beautiful at any size. Yeah, ask Victoria's Secret if that's still true. Okay? Women are beautiful at any size. Let me tell you something, okay? When you get naked in front of a man, how many times has that man just walked out the door when that happened? The answer is never. And you know why? Because a man that has a naked woman in front of him, that man feels like he just won the lottery. Okay? So don't worry about your muffin top or any of that stuff, okay? And what I'm saying here, and I'm giving you the counter argument to that bullshit, okay? If you are grotesquely overweight or underweight or whatever like that, okay, that man is never going to be in a position where you can take your clothes off in front of him because he's not going to fuck you, okay? And that's the truth. He's not. He's not. At least not the guy that you're thinking of, okay? The guy that you don't want to, he will, okay? He will. The guy you're not attracted to, he will, okay? But the guy you want won't, okay? I'm sorry, ladies, but it's true. How does that feel? Yeah, it doesn't feel good, does it? Okay, welcome to men's world, all right? So, yes, the men are more visual than women, okay? So, yes, okay? If I see a woman who's just too heavy, okay, we're talking maximum density or something, I'm not attracted to that. I'm not that way, okay? I exercise regularly. I want to live a long time. I want to be healthy. Okay, I exercise, I lift weights. Okay, I watch what I eat. I ran 4 miles today. Okay, so I take care of myself. Okay, it's important to me. All right, so I'm not gonna be with a woman that doesn't do that. You see what I mean? So I'm never, if I'm not attracted to you physically, okay, we're never gonna be in a position where you take your clothes off in front of me. So that's a moot point. Okay, if you're taking your clothes off in front of me, I'm already attracted to you. You turn me on. Okay, I'm already turned on. Okay, I'm turned on by what you look like. Okay, and believe me, I looked. Okay, I looked when you didn't think I was looking. Okay, so I have a pretty good idea what you look like naked already, way before the clothes come off. Okay, so that's the thing. I don't feel like I won the lottery. Okay, and if you are a man, okay, that's hard up to get laid. Yes, he feels like he won the lottery. Okay, but if you're a guy that women are usually attracted to, if you're that type of guy. The guy, the 10% guy I mentioned earlier, if you're one of those guys, okay, to him, you getting naked in front of him, all that means to him is it's Tuesday. That's it, okay? He's not like, oh my God, thank God, thank you. Clap it up and down, jumping him down, how happy and excited he is. Like no, he didn't win a lottery. It's just Tuesday, okay? That's the part you're not gonna get from this movie though, all right? So don't believe that shit, all right? Ladies, if you eat too fucking much, you're gonna get fat, okay? And men are not attracted to overweight women, okay? They're not. Okay, not only is it disgusting to look at, okay, but it's very unhealthy. You have a higher chance of diabetes and heart disease and all these other things. There is no fucking such thing as body positivity. Okay, that was invented by a marketing department who's trying to get money off of overweight women. Okay, instead of trying to get money off of slim women, they're trying to get money off of overweight women. Okay, that's what it was invented for. Okay, it's not real. Never has been real. Okay, maybe in the Renaissance it was real. Okay. But it's not the Renaissance anymore. All right. So that's going on here. Okay. And she tells Sophie, okay, you know what? We're going to eat this pizza. And then tomorrow we are going to buy some bigger jeans. Okay. Don't, ladies. If you want to know what turns men on, okay, talk to a man. And not a gay guy. Don't talk to a gay guy. No, talk to a straight man. Okay? Because he'll tell you the truth. Okay? And I tell men, if you want to know how to get laid, don't talk to a woman about how to get laid. She ain't gonna fucking tell you. Okay? She don't fucking know. She's gonna say stupid shit like bring her flowers and get the fuck out of here. That's not her. She doesn't have to bring. She fucked plenty of guys that never brought her flowers. Okay? Okay, so don't listen to that shit. All right? If you really want to know, like how to, what turns a man on. Talk to a man that you trust. Okay. And guys, if you really want to know how to get a woman turned on, how to get her attracted to you, talk to a man. Talk to a man that gets laid very easily. Okay? Talk to that guy. Okay? He'll tell you. Okay? If he likes you, he'll tell you how he does it. Okay? He'll give you some tips. Okay? Talk to a guy that gets laid all the time. Okay? Don't talk to a woman. She ain't gonna tell you shit. Okay? That's like asking a fish, how do I catch you? If I go fishing, how do I catch a fish? And asking a fish how to do that. Okay? Ain't gonna work. Okay, so the next day they start shopping for jeans like they said they would, okay? Too small to fit into. There's this big montage of where Liz is laying on the floor and they're trying to zip up the jeans and the jeans are too tight because she's gained so much weight from all that fucking food she's eating and no exercise that she's doing. So they're like trying really hard to fucking zip up the zip. Like, come on, this is stupid. If you got to do all that to put the jeans on, those jeans are too fucking small. Okay? They're too fucking small. Okay, if you need a machine, okay, to crank that zipper up, okay, those jeans are too fucking small, you buy bigger jeans. Isn't that what you're there for? Isn't that what you said you were going to do? Buy some bigger jeans? The fuck? Anyway. So that's going on here, okay. They go shop for jeans. They watch a soccer game in an outdoor cafe. This whole section of fucking Rome here takes place in an outdoor cafe. Every fucking scene, they're outside in a cafe at the fucking Panera Bread, okay, on the patio eating food. Okay, and they're also watching a soccer game, all right? Outdoor cafe, okay. Liz admires a blue dress that she sees at the store, okay, but she doesn't feel excited enough to buy it. She's staring at it, Sophie tells, buy it for you, do it for you. Everything in this fucking movie is done for her, okay? Everything in this movie is for you. You know what I would really like? I would really like for Liz to buy something for someone else. You know, that would go a long way in showing some humanity. I know she has some, okay, because in the divorce, okay, with her ex-husband Steven, in the divorce with him, she gave him everything, okay? She did not contest the divorce at all, okay? She walked away from that divorce empty-handed, which was the right thing to do, okay? Because she bamboozled him into marrying her, okay? And then she broke his heart, and then she cheated on him, all that kind of stuff, all right? And he didn't really do anything wrong. She's decided one day she didn't want to be married to him anymore. Okay, so she let him have everything, which I give her props for that, okay? That was unselfish. That was her saying, okay, I fucked up. That was her making an amends. Okay, yes, I fucked you over, so here, in return for me screwing you over, I want to make it up to you here. I'm just going to let you have everything. I ain't going to take nothing from you. Okay, that was the right thing to do. Okay, but she hasn't done anything since then, okay? Everything she's done has been selfish, all right? So anyway, they leave Naples, they go back to Rome, okay, and Liz realizes that Giovanni and Sophie have a thing going on, okay? Now, Giovanni is the interpreter. He's the young guy that's teaching Liz Italian, and he also taught Sophie Italian, but Sophie's got the hots for him, okay? And now Liz can see that clearly, okay, because they're all over each other, all right? Okay, and, so she realizes that when she's in a car with them, the three of them, she realizes she's a third wheel. Okay, so she excuses herself from being a third wheel. Okay, she sees another dress on display at a shop. Okay, and she walks away from it. For some reason, I don't know why, we keep seeing this dress that she likes, but she doesn't buy it. Okay, I'm guessing later on in the movie, probably the third act, when she's in Bali, she'll probably buy it. Okay, that's what I mean. It's foreshadowing. That's what I'm guessing. Like I said, I've seen this movie before, but it was a long time ago. All right, so that's going on here. She boils water to cook eggs and asparagus. All this crappy food so that she can eat it on the floor of her little bullshit apartment. I mean, there's scaffolding in her apartment, so even her apartment's not safe. Okay? And she eats her food on the floor. Okay? And we learned a word, dolce far niente. Dolce far niente. Okay? That's a word we learned earlier, but that's what she says. She says dolce far niente while she's eating her food off the fucking floor. Okay, earlier we figured out that's an Italian phrase. It means the sweetness of doing nothing. In other words, it's fun to be fucking lazy. All right? Some fat-ass, bald-headed Italian guy named Luca Spaghetti taught her that. Okay, the sweetness of doing nothing. Okay, and at this time, God talks to her again. Yes! For the second time in the movie, God talks to her. The first time that God spoke to her was when she was on her knees praying to God. Before she converted to Hinduism, she was praying to the Christian God. And she says, I've never prayed before God. I don't know what I'm doing, but please help me because I can't handle that. Tell me what to do, God, please. I don't know what to do. I'm rich. I have a wonderful, faithful husband. I have a beautiful house. I have an incredible, successful career. Oh my God, I'm attractive, but I can't handle it anymore. Please God, help me do something because I'm about to fucking cheat on my husband. And then God spoke to her and told her to go back upstairs and get in bed. God told her that. So she went upstairs, got in bed. Her husband told her, you know what? I don't want to go to vacation in the Bahamas or wherever the hell it was. And then she looked at him and said, like, you know, I don't want to be married to you anymore. Okay. And that's how the divorce started. All right. So God spoke to her back then. And then immediately after that, she converted to Hinduism when she started dating the yogi from Yonkers. Okay. David, played by James Franco. Okay. Who was Hindu. Of course he is. Okay. So she immediately gave up Christianity just after God absolved her for divorcing her husband. Boom, she immediately found a new God. Okay, well now she hears God again in Rome. Okay, and God tells her to get off the floor, to get up off the floor. I'm not making this up. God speaks to her again, tells her to get up off the floor. All right, so apparently he forgave her for denouncing him earlier in the movie. Okay, this triggers a memory of David asking her to quit sleeping on the floor and get back in bed with him. Okay, so now we're doing like a flashback here. Okay, this is a scene that we didn't see completely. Back when she was in a relationship with David, like I said, James Franco, the guy she was cheating on her husband with. Okay, once the divorce proceedings started going through, her and David started arguing. Okay, whatever, and she would refuse to sleep in bed with him. She would instead go sleep on the floor next to the bed. Well, one day David woke her up. So, what are you doing down there? You know, blah blah blah. You know, get back in bed. Okay. Because they weren't having sex as much as they used to, all right? Okay, so this triggers a memory of that, okay, back when they were fighting, okay? On the floor, you know, he tells her to get back in bed with him, okay? And while they're laying in bed together, and she's crying, of course, because feeling sorry for herself, like she always does, even though she's got no problems, he tells her that if they accept each other and their differences, then they will be miserable, but they'll be happy they stayed together. So he's telling her, listen, okay, you're a piece of shit and I'm a piece of shit, okay? But you know what? If I can accept you as a piece of shit and you can accept me as a piece of shit, we can stay together indefinitely. That's what he says. Okay, and this makes Liz cry. This makes Liz cry. Because this means to her that they will be miserable if they stay together, but at least they'll stay together. In other words, the message this movie is telling you is that if you make a commitment to somebody and then later on you realize you guys don't like each other anymore the way you used to, it's better to leave than it is to stay in a miserable relationship. Okay? So thereby leaving a miserable relationship is good. Staying in a miserable relationship is bad. Now, on the surface, that makes sense, okay? And if you're a dumb woman watch this movie, that makes complete sense. Now you're like, okay, yeah, no wonder she dumped him. Yes, she did the right thing by dumping him, okay? Remember, this is the guy she was cheating on her husband with, all right? So on the surface, it looks like the right thing to do, okay? There's nothing wrong with that, okay? But here, once you look underneath it and think about it a little bit, this is what it really means, okay? Let me tell you something, okay? Anyone you've ever met that's been married for 30, 40 years, okay, a significant amount of time, they've had plenty of times, okay, plenty of situations where they were miserable with each other, okay? My grandparents were married for 55 years, okay? And there were several years in that where they fucking hated each other, okay? They got on each other's nerves. There was even a period of time where they didn't even sleep in the same bed, okay? When I was a little boy, I remember thinking that was kind of weird. How come grandma and grandpa don't sleep in the same bed? Okay, I remember thinking that. I was too young to understand, okay? But they were married for 55 years, okay? And they legitimately loved each other because these things happen in waves, okay? You're miserable for a while, and then you find you appreciate what you have, okay? That's what a marriage is. That's all relationships are like that. Any long-term relationship is that way. It's like even with your kids, okay? They're not always going to make you happy. Sometimes your kids are going to fucking piss you off. But eventually the love does come around again, okay? It always does, okay? And once you've invested decades into somebody, of course you love that person. Of course you do. Maybe you're not crazy head over heels in love with them anymore like you were when you were young, okay? but they're such a part of your life. The idea of them not being part of your life anymore is scary. It's like, damn, it's like asking me to cut off an arm. Okay, that arm has been with me for so long, to not have it there anymore wouldn't feel right. You see what I mean? That's every relationship, okay? There's no way around that. What this movie is telling you is that when the going gets tough, get the fuck out. Get going, get the fuck out. You get going. You see what I mean? The strength of a relationship is based on how the couple reacts during difficult times, during adversity. That's when you know what your relationship, the foundation your relationship is built on, is tested through adversity, through problems, through trials. That's when you know if you're with the right person. Okay? If the first thing you do when things go bad is you fucking split, that tells you everything you need to know about that person, what type of person your partner is. You see what I mean? It's like the guy. How many men, like, you remember when COVID happened and all these businesses went out, all these businesses went out of business, because we were all locked up. Remember that? Do you realize the divorce rate spiked up completely once dad was out of a job? The wives were the first ones out the fucking door. The first ones out the door were the wives. You see what I mean? Once things got hard, the women's fucking split. Now these men are thinking, why the fuck did I marry her? She was fine, back when everything was good, but now that things are difficult, now the first thing she does is fucking leave? You see what I mean? This movie is telling you that's the good thing to do. But yeah, when a woman has it hard, okay, we're expected to stay. That's our job. That's what being a man is, taking care of your woman. But when the man is struggling, no, the women leave. And this movie's telling you it's good to do that. You see what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. This is the selfishness. It's right here in the movie. They're trying to play it off like it's a virtue, like it's a good thing to do. Let me tell you something, okay? I'm pretty sure your partner right now, your husband, your wife, whatever, is not perfect, okay? But let me tell you something else. You're not either. Okay? So that's going on here. This makes Liz cry. Liz writes David an email. She decides to get up one day and write him an email from Rome. Okay? She tells him that she tried to accept him and make the relationship work. No, you didn't. You just fought with him. Okay? I think that's bullshit. Once her divorce was final, she bolted away from David. She left David as soon as Stephen had signed the divorce paper. She was fucking out the door. She was ready to go to Rome. Okay, so no, she didn't try to make the relationship work. Okay, but she visited the ancient Augusteum caverns. Okay, so she went on a little field trip. Okay, to these caverns. I guess they're underneath the Roman Colosseum. Okay, she got a great history. We get a great history lesson about how it's called the Augustinium, how it's these caverns, okay, these incredible caverns that were built by Augustus, okay, the Emperor of Rome, okay, and now they're used as a toilet for homeless people. But it's very well lit. It's very well lit down there. Okay, Liz says that a precious wound, a heartbreak, you won't let go of. That's what the Augustium, that's what's called, the Augustium. She describes it as a precious wound, a heartbreak you won't let go of. Okay? So we get a flashback again. We see David. David tells the upset Liz that he likes it messy. Guy before me must have been some angel. So they're getting into a fight, and he tells her, okay, well, I like things messy, okay? Man, Liz, that guy before me must have been some kind of an angel. So he was comparing himself to Stephen. Okay? And to me, I say, yes, that's why she left him for you. He was an angel. He was a good guy. Okay? He did love Liz. He was faithful to her. Okay? He was all those things. He was non-threatening, everything, very compliant, with her wishes, did whatever she said. So of course she left him. Of course she cheated on him with David. Of course she did, because he was too good of a guy, too nice of a guy, too caring of her needs. Okay? So of course she left him. Yeah, that's not what she wanted. All right, Liz says we settle for misery because we're afraid of change. Because of the Augustium, maybe my life isn't chaotic. It's the world that is chaotic. and getting attached to anything is the real trap. Okay? So in other words, making a commitment to someone is the problem because the world is too fucking chaotic. The world isn't reliable. The world doesn't keep its promises. So thereby, you don't have to keep your promises either. So just don't make promises. Don't make vows. Don't say vows. Don't make commitments. Okay? Because the world's unfair. Okay? It's a trap. Love is a trap. Don't get with anybody. Don't stay with them. Okay? No long-term relationships. Nothing like that. Okay? Because it's a trap. Commitment is a trap. Don't do it. See what I mean? See what I mean? Okay. Basically, she's saying she's never allowed herself to love. She's afraid of commitment. Okay? She's afraid of getting her heart broken because it's never been broken before. She's the one that breaks all the hearts, remember? So because she's afraid of getting her heart broken, she chooses men beneath her so that she can dump them and blame them for the relationship ending. You see? The movie doesn't even realize Liz is doing this. Okay? She blames men for her problems. Okay? She uses the excuse that, I can't find a real man. If I did, I would fall in love. But the truth is that she's afraid of falling in love. She's afraid of men doing to her what she has done to men. You see what I mean? She's afraid of that happening to her. So to avoid that from happening, she only dates men that she can manipulate, that she feels she is above. Probably why she married Steven. She knew he was an immature idiot, okay? And she knew that she could manipulate that. That an immature idiot, is not going to hurt her, is incapable of hurting her. You see what I mean? So she can dump him and not really lose any sleep over it. You see, because she's already above him. But she continues to date men that are beneath her, in her opinion. Okay? And then she rationalizes dumping them because men aren't good enough. No fucking shit. You never dated a man that was good enough. You see what I mean? You never dated a man that fucking acted like a fucking man. You kept dating these beta male soy boy limp dicks. Like your friend fucking Delia is married to. Okay? Those are the only men that exist in these movies. Okay? You can't have a strong, intelligent man in these movies because that's going to intimidate Liz. Liz is the only one who's allowed to be strong and intelligent. You put a strong, intelligent, self-confident man next to her, she's going to fucking cream her pants and do whatever he wants. And we can't have that in the movie because that would send feminism all the way back to the Dark Ages. And we can't have that. Women got to be in charge, remember? Women are the dominant ones. So that's what she does. So it's kind of a self-perpetuating trap. She only dates men that are beneath her so that she can dump them and then blame men for not being good enough. And the cycle repeats itself over and over again. Meanwhile, she's the victim who fell in love with another man that just couldn't make her happy. You see what I mean? Rescue me, please. You see what I mean? It's the usual shit. Okay? So that's going on here, okay? Liz says that ruin is a gift. Okay, so the Augustium, it's a bunch of ruin, so that's a gift. It's the road to transformation. We must always be prepared for endless waves of transformation. So we must always be prepared for destruction. Okay? But yet Liz is not prepared for destruction. Okay? She's been avoiding it. She doesn't want to get her heart broken. Okay? Now, both of us deserve better than to stay together. That's what she writes to David. Both of us deserve better than to stay together just because we're afraid of being destroyed if we don't. Okay? So she's saying that it's better for us to separate, okay? Because we'll get our feelings hurt more if we stay together. If we stay together, we might actually fall in love. It might actually decide to make a commitment for the rest of our lives. Maybe even have children, even if we have to adopt, and grow old together and all that kind of stuff and live for each other. Okay? Doing that might destroy us, so it's better to just not do that. Problem solved. See what I mean? That's the message here. That's Liz Gilbert here. Okay? That's exactly what this movie's telling you. Okay. I've had enough of Liz Gilbert for now. Okay? I'm going to stop my review right here, but I'll be back to continue my review of Eat, Pray, Love. I thank you very much for watching this long, and I will see you soon on the next one. Bye.